Hi, and welcome to Community Connections, a program brought to you by the Dearborn Community Fund. I'm Imogene Woodyer, the director for the fund, and this program is all about seasons, or schedules is another term for it, for some of the cultural groups in our community. We're going to be talking about the artist exhibitions at both the Rotunda and Pajewski galleries in our community. We're going to be talking with Players Guild of Dearborn and their exciting season. And of course, we won't forget the wonderful seasons presented by the Dearborn Symphony and Motor City Brass Band. So join us as we talk about seasons, the theme of our show today. We're talking about seasons, art, music, and of course theater, and who better to talk to us about the theater season in Dearborn than Mike Mosley, president of the Players Guild of Dearborn. Mike, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, Imogene, my pleasure.
I know that you have an exciting season coming up, and I also know it's your 97th season at the Players Guild. Incredible.
It is.
Incredible. I know you opened with Philadelphia Story.
We did, yes.
So
yeah.
What's coming next?
So then our next show in November, we will be debuting, actually, we're one of the first theaters in the area to do Beautiful, the Carole King musical. So people should get ready to relive the soundtrack of a generation and learn the story of the rise of this amazing songwriter. It's a delightful musical. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, I understand it took a lot of ups and downs and tricks to get that, to be able to do it.
It did. One of the things, as shows are running on Broadway and then they close, and then you wait for a little bit for them to become available for community theaters. And one of the things that's good for community theaters is to do some of the newer shows. And the Guild has a pretty good history of doing that, to try to grab them as they come out. And you have to compete with other theaters, because everybody wants to do the new stuff that's out. And we were fortunate to be able to grab Beautiful, and it's only available in a particular window. After a couple of years, it's not going to be available anymore. So we're taking advantage of the opportunity. And
well, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be great. We're really excited. We have a great cast for it, so people are going to really enjoy it. And then then after that, so this season we're doing 3 musicals, which is a little unusual for the Guild. We usually only do 2. So in January, we're doing a musical review that's called I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change.
Yes, I love that title.
Right, so it's great. So it'll be it's a reflection on modern relationships, from first dates to marital bliss. I think audiences are going to be nodding in appreciation for what they're seeing, as well as maybe even blushing a little bit. So
makes perfect sense with life.
Right? Yeah. No, it's a delightful show, and I think people will really connect to it. And then in March, just when the kind of the late winter, spring doldrums are happening, we are going to do Unnecessary Farce. So that's fasten your seatbelts kind of mistaken identity, slamming doors, broad physical comedy. I mean,
is this a British, based on a British production?
No, I don't.
Because they're great at that.
Oh, they are. And actually, farces are one of the things the Guild does really, really well. I mean, given the size of our theater and the stage, so we like to do those kinds of things, and just people will laugh themselves silly. So that'll be a good thing, because then we will close the season with a pretty heavy lift for us, a wonderful Tony Award-winning musical, Ragtime.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So based on the novel, and it tells the story of class and race and the American dream at the beginning of the 20th century. Great roles, amazing music. There's a reason it won the Tony Award. And it's the first time the Guild is doing that. So we're really looking forward to Ragtime.
Sounds like you have a great season coming up, and
We
I
really
know
do.
you're already thinking about the next season. I know that
We
full
are.
well.
Yep.
And welcome aboard for the 3rd time around on the presidency, by the way. If you haven't been to the Players Guild, it's what, 300 seats?
We have, just shy of 300 seats.
So there's not a bad seat in the house, and there's nothing like great community-driven theater. The excitement, the enthusiasm of the cast. make sure you stop by Players Guild at least for one of the performances, if not for the whole season. It's a real gem in our community. 97 years. They're doing something right. It's got to guys like this who keep it going. So thanks so much, Mike, for being here.
Emma Jean, my
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more. Well, we're talking about seasons, and the visual arts have a season for sure. And with me right now is Pam Sayer. She's the exhibition coordinator for the Dearborn Artist Group. Pam, welcome, and thank you for taking time to be here.
Thank you.
Now, you use the Rotunda Gallery, which is where we are, for the exhibitions for the Dearborn Artist Group. Tell us a little bit about the Dearborn Artist Group.
Well, we're a successor group to the Artist Society of Dearborn. We're somewhat unique in that we don't just include painting and drawing and traditional arts. We do photography. We have a lot of really great photographers. And we've had 3D artists, jewelry making, actual sculpture, which is really cool. Woodworking, we've had fiber artists. And so we try to be all inclusive. We're rather informal. It's kind of like show up and you can be part of the group. We are getting back into our schedule, which generally runs from September through June. We will be meeting in the next few weeks to coordinate and plan our fall show, which will be here from the last weekend in October through the first weekend in December, I believe.
Your shows usually are up for about 6 weeks, is that correct?
They do now, yes.
Yeah.
We have 3 shows, the fall show, the spring show, which is early this year, and then the summer showcase, where we highlight a specific medium in the arts. For example, water media, watercolor pencil, ink as painting but not drawing. And in fact, that's what's up this year, next summer in 2025. It will be the water media exhibition in the summer.
Sounds very, very interesting and different.
Well, we try to be different and inclusive and encourage experimentation.
It's a lot of work because you hang the shows as well, do you not?
Yes, we do. I have what we call the hanging crew, and we show up, we arrange, we hang, we label, and then we go home and pat ourselves on the back.
It's a lot of work to coordinate. Well, we're so happy that you're part of the art scene with the group here in Dearborn. I know that there's a lot of artists out there. I get to happily work with a lot of them, but never in a coordinated group like you do. So thank you for bringing it to our Rotunda Gallery 3 times a year, and we're just happy that you made the time to be with us today.
Thank you. Can I give some contact information?
You can, and it's bad me for not asking.
Okay, as I said, we're rather informal, but if you would like information about our next meeting, you can drop me an email at psayer99@gmail.com. That's P as in Peter, S as in Sam, AYRE99@gmail.com. And I will put you in touch with the newsletter, and you will get information about our next meeting. So we welcome everybody. We would love to have new people join us. We're always looking for new people because the more people you interact with, the more ideas you get, the more it kind of sparks your own art. And it's just fun to meet new people.
It's all part of it, as well as having a beautiful show here.
Oh, yeah, we love the Rotunda Gallery.
Yeah, we do too. Thanks again, Pam.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Emma Jean.
And so moving right along with our visual arts journey, we're going to talk with Sasha Corder. You all know Sasha. Hi, Sasha.
Hi, I'm Jean.
About the Pajeski Gallery, which is located at the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center. It's been there for 20-some years. If you haven't been there, you got to come by. Sasha, give us an idea of what's happening with the 24-25 season.
Yeah. So upcoming within the next 2 weeks, we're actually going to be installing a new exhibit. It's called When There Are Nine. There's a fantastic curator, Charlene Welton. She's going to be installing this show. And it actually features 18 women artists from the area. And it kind of plays homage to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you know, the famous saying, when will there be enough women on the Supreme Court? When there are nine. So this show really kind of highlights women artists and their talents and their passions in a really, really great way.
Could I just interject there very quickly? Now, this is a curated show.
Yes.
And explain what how a curated show differs from what we normally do there.
Yeah, so normally we're curating our own shows, which means we're finding the artists, inviting them in, and we actually do the physical hanging and all the work that goes along with the show. When we invite a curator to come in, they're bringing their artists, they're bringing their vision for how it's going to be hung, how it's going to be talked about, and what the narrative is. So there's kind of a big difference. You know, being the typical curator at the Pajeski Gallery, I really try to put in a lot of variety with how shows are hung, who is hanging, and how we talk about it.
There's a lot that goes on, and so this is an opportunity for others out there who have an idea for an exhibition that could ask to be considered for a curated show.
Yeah. So on our website, on the For Artists tab, you'll find our gallery exhibition proposal. So you'll fill that out with some examples of the art and your information and just the scope of what the exhibition is really saying with the art. Every year we evaluate everything that's been submitted and kind of plan our next year out with those proposals.
All right, now I interrupted you. We were going to move on from and then there were nine.
So next, right after When There Are Nine comes down, we go right into our annual holiday market. We accept a lot of artists that go into this show, which means we have items for everyone, every price range, every gift, every person that you're buying a gift for, we have something for every taste. We're open the entire week to be accompanied by Festival of Trees, so we do have extended hours that week. And then we go into our normal gallery hours that we're open. So we encourage everyone to stop in, even if you're just looking around at the amazing pieces, because these are art. They're art before they're gifts. So even if you're just coming to look at the pieces we have, we would really enjoy you purchasing them because you're supporting a small business or an independent artist.
But you're also supporting the gallery because
Yes.
This is a fundraiser for the gallery,
Yes.
in effect, and it's the only one at this time, not to say we'll never do another, but it's the only one that we do to actually raise funds to support the gallery.
Yep, and that allows us to bring in those curators, like When There Are Nine, to kind of give variety to the gallery.
So now we finish up at the holidays, we take everything down, we give everything back, and we've got the next show in January.
Yep, so after the holiday market, we do take a little bit of a break to kind of reset the gallery, do a little bit of cleaning up and organizing, and then we start the 2025 season. So this year, 2025 season starts with the Teresa Lucius Memorial Photography Show.
That's huge.
Huge, and it's kind of gone back and forth between the Pajeski and the Rotunda, and it's back in the Pajeski this year, which is fantastic because I think, when we have so many talented photographers in the area, we really need that space. This year, that'll go on through January to February. And I'm sure we'll have another episode of Community Connections to talk about what goes on after that.
We will definitely.
So I guess one thing that I would like to say, if you are interested in participating in the holiday market or the photography exhibition, I referred to the For Artists page on the Pajeski website. You can also find the open call information for the market and for the photography exhibit. So you can apply to both of those. We're very inclusive with what we take in because we have a very diverse audience here in Dearborn.
For this program, we're talking about seasons, and why not talk to Motor City Brass Band, who will be celebrating, I don't know, what season is this?
This will be our 29th season.
Welcome, Tom Hitchman. You're the representative from Motor City Brass Band, one of the musicians, and we're just always looking forward to what you do here. Tell us a little bit about your season. What's coming up?
So we have 3 concerts at the Ford Community Performing Arts Center and the Michael Guido Theater. We'll start the season with our traditional Horns and Howls concert on October 27th, which is a festive event for families, children and adults alike. Enjoy that concert. The musicians in the second half will all come out in costume, and many of our audience members as well enjoy optionally coming to the concert dressed in costumes. Our other traditional concert favorite is Sounds of the Season, which will take place in December. And then we'll finish our season next spring with the Motor City Brass Spectacular, where we will be joined by 3 other brass bands from the area to have a total of 4 brass bands performing at that concert.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the Motor City Brass Band.
Motor City Brass Band was the first competitive British-style brass band in Michigan. We now have several, including 5 in Southeast Michigan. It has its history in the traditional British brass band format, which was founded in the early 19th century. And today in Britain, there are over 1,000 brass bands, many of them sponsored by companies. We each have the same instrumentation, 32 brass instruments and percussion. And it tends to be very fun and festive music that we perform, marches, movie themes, but also some traditional British brass band music.
So it's very particular, a lot of fun. I guarantee that. And you've been performing, the Motor City Brass Band has been performing here at the center since I think we opened 20-some years ago. Is that correct?
That's right. Our first few years we were in Southfield, and then shortly after the center opened, we moved to the Michael Guido Theater.
If somebody wanted to get involved with Motor City Brass Band, how would they do that?
The best way is to contact our hotline, 248-788-6618. We're always looking for additional volunteers. We've got a great group of volunteers, and we have openings for musicians, both in the Motor City Brass Band, plus our Academy Brass Band, which is for rising musicians of all ages, from high school on up. We have some members who are in their 70s that perform in that band.
That's wonderful. Well, just to review again, you've got a concert on October 27th, Horns and Howls. Come dressed for the occasion, dressed as in Halloween, right? The
Right.
Sounds of the Season on December 22nd, and Motor City Brass Spectacular. I'm really, really looking forward to that one, and that's way in June. But again, this program today is all about seasons, and this is Motor City Brass Band's 2024-25 season. Well, we've moved around a fair amount talking about seasons in Dearborn, seasons of performance, seasons of exhibits. There's just so much going on. And by the time this show airs, our wonderful Dearborn Symphony will have performed its first concert of the season, so hope you didn't miss it. But with me today is the conductor and music director for the symphony, Stephen Jarvie. And Stephen, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you're going to talk a little bit about the rest of the season,
Yes.
the major part of the season
Yes.
for the Dearborn Symphony.
Yes, we were thrilled to have Gleb Ivanov join us as the opening act for this year with romantic music by Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky. And now we're excited about A Night at the Opera with Quinto Melito leading the way. He has been kind of our artistic director for this, bringing in singers from Italy, bringing in a lot of ideas about how he wants to present this evening, and we'll have multiple fantastic opera singers on stage to sing scenes from Puccini's La Bohème, Turandot, like all the hits. And we will also be joined by Vanguard Voices, so that's very exciting. You know, Vanguard Voices provided me with such a thrill to perform Carmina Burana with them at the end of last season.
Oh, that was spectacular.
Just, I mean, truly, not only one of the highlights of, you know, the season, but one of my musical highlights of my life. It was really such an especially beautiful evening, and
you get to work with Kevin Dewey.
Yes, I got to work with Kevin Dewey, and the idea that that relationship could yield so much, I just had no idea the sparks were flying at Carmina Burana. So they're going to join us for a couple of things with the Night at the Opera. And Quinto himself will be singing along with a lovely soprano. We do have some non-Italian things, the duet from Pearl Fishers and Old Man River, which is a really beautiful thing to hear presented well. And then we move on to holiday time. So we have our heartwarming holiday, and this presents something absolutely new for us as an institution because we'll be doing a film for the first time.
Now, this is a special concert,
This
right?
is a very special concert. We have done some collaborations with Vanguard Voices for the holidays in the past, but this is a special concert that we're putting on ourselves with the big screen here on the stage here at the Michael Guido Theater, and we're presenting the orchestra playing all of the music from this film, The Snowman, with a boy soprano, and the film playing above us. And then we'll also have holiday hits like, Sleigh Ride. We have a sing-along. Maybe Santa will show up if we're nice. So that'll be a really fun evening. But that starts the beginning of something really special that happens in our lobby here.
That's correct. I was going to say it coincides with the Festival of Trees, which has been coming here to the center for, probably 15 years or more.
Right.
It's such a beautiful event. So you're partnering up with them, and
Right.
for a wonderful, it's a Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. So this is the perfect opportunity to go in and see all of the trees and the way that this lobby is spread out with all the lights. It's holiday special for us here, and we're kind of the opening act. So you can see the trees and all that, and then you can come to this concert that will be no longer than about 85, 90 minutes with no intermission, very family friendly, and I like the idea of seeing what it feels like to perform here in the afternoon with a bunch of excited young people.
I think it's going to be more than exciting. I think people are going to leave here just really in the holiday spirit. So that takes us through the holidays.
Yep.
What comes up after the holidays?
After
when
the
we go
holidays.
into those dark months of winter.
Oh, but we'll have to head out someplace much warmer. We're going to head out west. The Symphony Goes West is our February show. That features things like The Magnificent Seven, music from Yellowstone, the television show, which we're going to perform in collaboration with our youth orchestra for our annual side-by-side event. I love this Western music. This is kind of the core of Americana music in a lot of ways because Aaron Copland was so inspired, and of course his famous rodeo, dun-da-da-lum-da-da-little-little. It's What's for Dinner. That piece and some of the music that revolved around the American West, even Dvorak's Ninth Symphony, this idea of the American West has been a huge influence, that spaciousness, the sense of adventure. So we're going to have some great cowboy music, and then the feature of that performance will be the Grand Canyon Suite by Graffet.
Very recognizable.
Very recognizable. We have Michael Dougherty, who teaches at the University of Michigan and is a world-renowned composer. One of the movements from a Georgia O'Keeffe-inspired piece called Ghost Ranch. So we will kind of imagine these open areas with the sounds of bone and rocks and craggly sounds, and it's really spectacular, and hopefully he'll join us and tell us a little bit about that. But yes, we will head west, and I'm excited about the side-by-side aspect too, because our youth orchestra is really special. If you were at this concert last year where we performed Samson and Delilah Bacchanal, the kids got so into it, and you could just see them kind of lighting up, and having those extra excited bodies on the stage with us does absolutely add something to the experience for audience and orchestra alike. So after that, we move on to welcome back Whitney Claire Kaufman, who was here a couple years ago.
Spectacular.
Yep. She is going to bring us back to Hollywood, a little bit of a specific generation this time. We're celebrating 100 years of Henry Mancini's music. Her father used to work in an office with Henry Mancini. Hank, he called him. So Whitney's family has a great connection to the music of Mancini, and we'll be celebrating some kind of golden era Hollywood, all related to him. You know, Mancini had such a space in the film music that also kind of crossed over into popular culture that, you know, he really was friends with all of the things that we think of golden era Hollywood. So we'll have some Elmer Bernstein on there, maybe some Eric Korngold, some John Williams. It'll be a great concert, and I just love having Whitney here. So bringing Whitney back to town will be exciting, and
Great show.
a great show.
She was great the last time. She was well received.
Yes.
Very well received.
Yes, and she loved the experience here. You know, we had her at the Henry and everything, so it was fun to show off Dearborn to her as a very old friend of mine, and she was so impressed by our lovely concert hall and what we could do here with our audience. Then we come to our season finale. Our season finale is Fantasia Favorites. So we're celebrating the idea of what the Disney film Fantasia brought culturally to classical music. There's a lot of pieces of classical music that became kind of household names, like Sorcerer's Apprentice, that this concert will bring to life, and we can hear the orchestra present what are really cores of their repertoire also, and that the climax of that concert is the Firebird Suite by Stravinsky, which is the way that Fantasia 2000 ends, I believe. And we also have a commissioned piece for the orchestra from a local community member that we're excited about. I can't wait to see what he comes up with. And it is really a well-rounded season that has things that I'm proud of from both the perspective of what I can't wait for the audience to hear, but also what I can't wait for this orchestra to play. We've had some auditions recently. We have a new principal clarinetist who is also the new principal clarinet player of Michigan Opera Theater at Detroit, in Detroit there. So we have just these extraordinary players that want to come out and be a part of our Dearborn Symphony family and present this incredible season.
Well, it's a wonderful season, exciting and tip-top. Absolutely tip-top. If you haven't been to a Dearborn Symphony concert, do yourself a treat, because it is first class and performing in our first class venue. Stephen, we can't thank you enough. We know how busy you are, running back and forth between gigs, so to speak. You took time to talk to us about the season today. And again, this was a program about seasons. Seasons in the visual arts, season in the performing arts. We've got a lot going on in Dearborn. You can never say that you don't have anything to do. So join us again for Community Connections, brought to you by the Dearborn Community Fund, and start getting your tickets for all these events. Don't wait.